So almost a year ago, I got this Back to the Roots water garden 2.0 for Christmas present from a family member. And I thought it was a funny gift because I have 300 gallons of aquariums in my house and I have a couple aquaponics system. So you'd think was a little bit rudimentary maybe for somebody of my experience in the hobby, but it has ended up being quite a challenge for me, and I've actually really appreciated it as a gift. So I'm not going to explain the aquaponics system. There's 1,000 other videos on that. What I will say is that this is a great starter system for anybody that wants to either buy a fish tank for somebody they care about, and you want to get a nice small fish tank just to get the person started, or you want to get your feet wet in the whole aquaponics thing. This thing is great because it's available on Amazon. It has Amazon Prime. You can get it in 48 hours. It's relatively cheap. In Canada, it's like $70. And I think that it's a really cool idea. There is some problems with it though, and I wanted to kind of go through a few of the things I did to change up their system. And for me, it has improved things a lot. The first thing I did was I added a sand substrate. The gravel substrate that comes with it is okay, but I have a lot of issues with the really coarse, pebbly gravel it came with. One, food gets trapped inside the gravel and can just sit and decompose and add to excessive nitrogenous wastes. And two, it limits the amount of beneficial bacteria that you can grow in your substrate. If you switch to sand, the uneaten food stays on top and the fish can still go down and pick it away. And you get a lot more surface area for beneficial bacteria, which ultimately gives you a better ecosystem. So I switched that up. The other thing I did was I added a few live plants from a couple of the tanks I have in my basement. Now, live plants are not a necessity because you obviously have plants on top, but I like the look of live plants, and I was having some massive algae issues, and I thought that maybe getting a little bit more plants in the system would help absorb some of the waste products. So if you have them available, add some live plants to it. And some people like the natural look of live plants as well. Another thing I added was little snails. I get a lot of these little guys in my other aquariums, so I gathered a few of them up and I dumped them in the tank. And these little snails, you can see one there on the Amazon sword, are super good at eating uneaten food. They actually help clean the algae off the back. Let me see if I can show you that. They come in, you can see these tiny little tracks in the algae, and that's from these little snails picking it off. So they're really helpful. They go down into the substrate, and I think they're an important part of your ecosystem. So if you have little snails, throw them in. As you can see, I have 5 zebra danios in this system, and the fact that the Aquafarm Back to the Roots people think that a beta can survive in here, to me, is absolutely asinine. Betas come from Thailand and they need tropical conditions. And I don't know anybody's house whose ambient air temperature is tropical. That would be one really uncomfortable environment. And for the people that have a winter and their house gets central heated, nobody keeps their house that warm. So, you're looking at having a beta in conditions in which it cannot thrive. In fact, you're basically torturing it to death with the temperature. Whereas zebra danios do just fine, as low as 18 degrees C, and they can adapt to higher temperatures as well. So get zebra danios. They're super cheap. I got these for $1 each. They're really active fish. They swim around and they will do just fine in the conditions of your home. Another change I made is I did away with the whole eating food out of the top of it. By that I mean I tried to grow the radish sprouts, the wheatgrass, and then I tried growing mint in the top. And all of those attempts ended up in royal failure because I had serious fungal issues. In the grow bed here, in the pots, over time, I just got an unbelievable fungus growth. And it actually, I don't have any pictures of it, unfortunately, but it just would cover over the media, and then it would outcompete the plants, and the plants would all die. So I actually had to do, I think I tried it 4 times. I bought more wheatgrass. I tried sterilizing the seeds a little bit before I germinated them, and they all just went horribly fungal on me. So I switched gears, and I have these pothos plants in here, which obviously are not edible. And I got these guys from Walmart. This is what they came in. This was $3, and for $3 I got enough to plant one in every pot, and I have a whole bunch left over, which I'm going to throw in one of my fish tanks downstairs. I also feed them a super high quality food. This is the NLS half mil pellet, and the fish really love these pellets. And it's a really high quality pellet that doesn't produce a lot of excess wastes because it's not full of crappy fillers. So another good way to keep your system happy is to feed the fish healthy, high quality food. I think the thing I love most about this system is it's a great conversation piece. It's sitting here in the corner of my living room, and when friends and family come over, they invariably walk over and look at it, and they're like, what is this thing, and how do you have plants in the top? And for me, as a science nerd, it's a great way to show people about how ecosystems work and how you can have a mutualistic symbiosis between fish and plants. And I just love teaching people and explaining how this thing works. And when people come over, they love looking at it. And I think it's a great system for kids, for anybody that wants to either try fish keeping or an aquaponics system. It's small, it's easy to maintain and carry around. I literally, when it's time to do maintenance, I pick the whole thing up, I walk it over to my kitchen sink, and I do all my maintenance there. They say you don't have to do water changes, but when you're failing like I have been, you got to do work on it. So yeah, I think it's a great system. The last thing I did was, you see the water pump there? I did away with using the suction cups, and I just have it suspended in the water. It started to rattle and buzz because the suction cups didn't really hold, and that noise was really pissing me off. I like peace and quiet. So I unsuctioned it from the tank, and I just have it suspended there, and as you can tell, it's perfectly quiet, which I love. And the other thing about zebradenios is that people that add a heater to this to sustain a beta, I think that's kind of a counterintuitive to what the system is supposed to be. And it's supposed to be this like eco-friendly, sustainable system. And I think that this pump uses less than 1 watt per hour. So it probably costs me 50 cents a year to run this teeny little pump. But if you're trying to heat water, and everybody knows water is really hard to keep warm because of its heat capacity, you know, you're going to be spending way more money, and I just think that it's not the proper system for that. So maybe consider switching the type of fish you put in, then you don't have to heat the water and you save a bunch of money. So overall, I would definitely recommend this as a gift for somebody that wants to get their first fish tank or get into aquaponics. It's not going to be a walk in the park, and for anybody that wants a perfect system that doesn't require thought or maintenance, you should not keep animals. You should keep rocks or spoons or something like that. But if you're up for a bit of a challenge maybe, and you appreciate science and trial and error, definitely purchase this. Again, easily got on Amazon. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I hope you have yourselves a great day.